off our work session. We're a couple of minutes late. I can't talk today. We're gonna ask our Park Director, Steve Masters, to open us up in prayer.
Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for our many blessings. Thank you for an opportunity for us to come together and hopefully progress our city and move forward. We ask that you be with us as we make these decisions and help us live for you in everything we do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Steve. All right, so number one of the work session items, discussion that is necessary by Aaron Walter, Manager of McChesney, to discuss the fiscal year 23 audit. And we all, Aaron gave us a book of handouts before you guys walk in.
All right, well, this is the fiscal year 2023 audit report. Might sound familiar, but just 6 months ago, we had the 2022 audit report. It's been a while since we've been on the schedule. I was telling the mayor, it's been about 10 years since the audit's been on a regular schedule.
What'd you say, Mr. Aaron?
So it's been about 10 years since the city's been on a regular audit schedule. We're supposed to have a trial balance by the end of November and perform the 2024 audit starting in December, which is what we historically did, you know, in the past. So we're back on schedule.
Staff is doing a wonderful job.
Can y'all hear me now? All right, I'll keep this kind of high level, and there is a sheet in the front of the largest packet that is a highlights memo of all the reports, the 2-page sheet, the loose sheets there for your reference. We have 4 reports, the largest one being the financial statements. We have on the second page of the memos, see we have a management letter. That's things that we found during the audit that would be areas for improvement. Minor things, not what we would call significant, but just things we would want the council to be aware of. We have a governance letter, which really is a letter from the auditors to council and the mayor and management describing our responsibilities, the city's responsibilities. These are your financial statements. You're responsible for them, although we audit them. So that's what that report does. Not a lot of detail on numbers. And then the single audit report is the grant compliance audit report that was separate. The small bound copies of the grant report. We did test the coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds grant for FY23, since those funds were expended, and it was the largest program. Want to point out that for FY24, the city may not need the grant compliance audit if it has less than $750,000 of federal expenditures for FY24. That's a good chance that that may be the case. So you may not have the grant compliance audit for 2023. It would not be required. And that threshold is going up to $1 million for FY25. So the financial statements, I'll hit the highlights on that 2-pager. Governmental fund accounting, you have the full accrual financial statements modified. As I've mentioned to you guys each year, the full accrual might be what the people, the citizens might be familiar with the balance sheet and income statement, a little bit different for governmental fund accounting. I'll point out that on item number 3, it says at the bottom of page 8, the city has about a $2 million increase in that position during fiscal year 23. Sometimes that's issuing debt and things like that, but in this particular year it was not. It was just more tax revenue and such, and keeping an eye on expenditures. Item 4 on the list there, the modified accrual change in fund balance. That's kind of your day-to-day budgeting focus. It's cash basis somewhat. And when you take into account things that are remove the non-cash items out of it, we had a $1.4 million increase in fund balance. There is a general fund budget versus actual in these financial statements. It is, let's see, page 56. When you get there, it's the general fund budget actual by department, has the revenues, the original final budgets. We do adjust the final column for budget amendments that the council approved during that fiscal year. So those numbers are slightly different because of that, not the revenues, but the expenditure side tend to get adjusted here and there within departments. General fund budget actual, budgeted revenue was about 2.7 million, or actual revenues were about 2.7 million higher than budgeted. Most of that being in the sales tax, just because it had a pretty significant increase in fiscal year 23. Total expenditures on page 57, you can see those by department. Let's see, street department, looks like we had budgeted quite a bit of expenditures in there that ultimately we reclassed capital outlay within a lot of that essentially got reclassed to the coronavirus grant fund to recognize those expenditures, and then special revenue fund is why there's a variance there. So otherwise the budget would have been close. All things said and done, the general fund had a net change in fund balance, a positive increase of about 3.1 million. And then you'll see back toward the front where it shows the results of some of the other funds, be it the school tax fund, the gas tax funds. There's detail on all of that in the back of the financial statements. They're not considered major funds for the presentation purposes. We determined the major funds, general funds always major, any of the special revenue that meet a certain asset or revenue total that's large enough. So the school tax fund and then the American Recovery Plan Fund were two major funds in addition to the general funds. You'll see all that on pages 9, 10, and 11. And all the other are combined, called other governmental, but the detail for that other column, they're all in the back, between the construction fund, the airport fund, the grant fund, all the different gas tax funds, and then the special revenue funds like senior center, debt service fund, and such. So all things said and done, the city increased its net position during fiscal year 23. All things considered, as far as the audit went, everything went well. Like I said, we've finished this audit over the summer. We got back on track. Everything went pretty well. No major findings as far as non-compliance. We had one grant compliance finding, mainly in it was a report where it wasn't necessarily completed that had to be sent back to the Department of Treasury. So that was the finding there. Nothing egregious there. We had a few other comments in the single audit report about just in general for FY23, some of the grant revenue receivables and such were not, needed quite a bit of adjusting. Just they were recorded in different areas, and we had auditor lunches there to get that to present properly. And then the accounts payable, historically, this city's had a little bit of problem reconciling accounts payable. It's getting closer, but hopefully with FY24, we'll see that get to where there's no longer comments with grant accounting and accounts payable adjustments at year end. So that's the 4 reports. Did anyone have any questions? We had sent some electronic copies about 2 or 3 weeks ago. If anybody had any questions about these, if you have time to really look at them, feel free to reach out to me.
From my understanding, Mr. Harris, this is one of our better audits.
It is, yeah, because usually when your net position increases, it's usually something unusual like issuing debt, which sounds odd, but the proceeds of issuing debt show up as revenue at the fund level. Then you'd have the capital outlay to offset, but there's a timing difference. Sometimes you'll have the revenue in one year and the expenditures in another. But didn't have any debt issues during that fiscal year. So all things said and done, I mean, the sales tax did help a good bit on that. So all things considered, good financial report for fiscal year 23, and it speaks to management of watching those expenditures and working with the department heads to monitor the budgets and such.
And also too, I was looking at your reports and you just said it, I don't have a question but a comment. You put in there that we need to reconcile the accounts every month, and we've already been proactive putting things like that in place. So I'm pretty sure our 24 audit is gonna be even better than this, since we've already been proactive to put things in place to make it easier on everybody. So kudos to Alex and her department.
Absolutely.
Appreciate everything you guys do and your hard work that doesn't go unnoticed.
I appreciate it as well, because it'll make our job a lot easier. You know, we've, the last few years, there's several adjustments to the records, and the number of adjustments is going down each year, past 2 years, so that Alex and her team has helped with. So hopefully for 24, that trend will continue and be less and less adjustments. More adjustments you have, the less accurate information you have on a monthly basis. So less adjustments mean you're getting better information on a monthly basis to make your decisions.
So this is good news. I said, we were a few months ago, we didn't think we'd be here, but this is good news.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate y'all letting us be your auditors. If you have any questions, Alex?
I do, Aaron. Could you let everybody know about the new procedure you guys are doing this year as far as sending everybody a survey in the department?
Oh, the
heads?
related party letters, yes. That's one of the related party letters. We do them periodically. We have not done them in a while for the city of Sylacauga, but it's just a letter asking if any department head or council member or management has any kind of family relationship with a vendor, and then we would just make sure that's on an arm's length transaction. And it's not a bad thing necessarily, it's just an example would be for another client. We had someone in accounts payable whose husband worked at Waste Management, ran the local one, and they were a vendor, which is fine, as long as it's a, arm's length transaction, and they're not overcharging the city and that kind of thing. So we would test that vendor relationship and make sure it was not, something that was not on the up and up. So, and not necessarily a bad thing, it's just, we need to know if there are any related party relationships. Being when department heads have a family member or that owns a business that the city utilizes as a vendor, and that kind of thing.
That should be recorded.
For sure, yeah, we just gotta have a record of it and test it. So I'm gonna leave these copies, Alex, with you. We have electronic copies of all of these in case the city needs them. Alex already has them in case you need them for grant funding, and just an email a PDF. Well, appreciate that. Well, I'm gonna.
Thank you.
Step aside.
Thanks, Aaron.
Absolutely.
Okay, number 2, discussion that is necessary by Ryan Coleman, difference architecture to hire building and earth to provide engineering consultation and construction material testing services for a project site located at 799 North Norton Avenue, Sylacauga, Alabama, totaling $18,100, funding from Capital Improvement Fund.
Yes, that's correct. Ryan will not be here, but we have placed a letter on everybody's desk from Ryan to ask for your consideration. It was a hard copy letter that he had sent to myself and Steve Masters today, and asked that we just give you guys that, and Steve can answer any questions that you have.
He spoke on this a couple of meetings prior, right? How meticulous it was, filling it in, keeping it level.
And the reasoning for this is, thank goodness Reed has agreed to do a lot of the demolition and filling the pool in for us. You're saving hundreds of thousands of dollars for Reed to be able to do that in-house. And in order to make sure everything meets the specs for the construction pad before we start building on it, this company will be here to oversee the process of the layers and test the compaction. So when we build these humongous concrete pads, hopefully nothing happens underneath in the ground.
And I think the bulk of this were just for the people that were gonna come out and oversee it too, right?
That,
The bulk,
yeah, we will be doing a lot of work in Sylacauga, Alabama. They will be overseeing it and testing the compaction.
I'm excited. Nobody's more excited than me, but I do have a question. I talked to Ryan about this, and Alex, you were there. When can we get like an overall total? Because I mean, I think we're all in to want to do this, but I don't wanna keep, you know what I'm saying?
I received one early this morning and I rejected it.
Okay.
Way
So,
too high.
okay. So that's, well, maybe you can get with them and just try to get a number that we can all agree on, because I don't wanna be so much money into where we can't turn back.
Well, what we're looking at, I mean, anytime that you have architects, engineers, and all these extra people involved in projects, then your cost is going to go up for sure. So there's a lot of tools that we have inside Parks and Recreation, like pavilions that are kits that can be assembled here locally. There's precast restrooms that they can just set in place, and you're not paying for drawings, you're not paying for all these internal things to get this small bathroom building built. So we started today taking their itemized list and looking at those options to take that off of their scope of work, bring it in locally to Sylacauga and get those overall budget down.
Okay, since you mentioned bathrooms, I'm gonna kind of go off subject. Did we ever figure out a price for if we were to put bathrooms back at South Highland? Because I've been getting a lot of phone calls about that. I mean,
I got hit up Tuesday about it.
yeah, I've been getting hit up too, so, I mean,
What you're gonna have to approve, as you know, those walls have been blocked up since like '82. So it's really hard to get a quote on a restroom when you can't get in the room. So, I mean, I can't even send a plumber in there to see what we got or what was blocked up back in 1982. So those doors, we did get a price on ordering the steel doors, you know, where if we did cut that block open to be able to secure that. And you're looking at around $2,000 for 2 steel doors.
but I still would like to know, the price. I mean,
Sure.
because I know we've been
Well, I mean, if
saying,
y'all approve it,
but we can't, there's nothing
What
to
he said is
approve.
we gotta approve to take down the wall to get in there.
you gotta approve to get the wall
Give
down.
permission
get a
to take it
plumber in
down.
So
there
how
to
much
see
is it
where
to
we
take
are.
down the wall?
I mean, in the past, we've worked with the street department, we've cut holes in concrete, we put a new door in the side of the concession stand years ago.
Yeah, but that,
We installed it ourselves, but these doors are very expensive.
I know, but especially if we're doing upgrades to all the parks, and that is one of our parks, and if it's gonna be a park that we're gonna rent out and possibly generate some income, I think we do need to, look at how much that's gonna cost if you guys agree.
Yeah, I
Reader,
agree.
you able to
It's the
help
first
with
step
that?
getting the walls down.
Knocking the wall down?
You gotta get in the room to see what was left.
So can you get the street department to?
Yeah,
help
he
us
said he
get
could
it?
help.
Good.
But in turn, like, you're gonna have to be able to secure that area as well.
What if we just do one, because weren't there 2 bathrooms over there? 'Cause I mean,
There's
it's
2
not a big.
bathrooms, there is, one on either side.
Cause see, maybe we could just do one, you see what I'm saying? Maybe we could just do one because it's not a really big space, but I do think we may need to consider opening up a bathroom over there if we're gonna rent that space out.
But you also have to worry about handicap stuff and all of that.
If you start a construction project on that restroom, you've gotta make it ADA.
But that's with anything though, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
that's
just the world we live in.
anything.
Yeah, that's with anything, so that shouldn't deter us from.
I mean, I'd be glad to get as many quotes as y'all want. but-
Do you guys agree?
Yes.
That we get that-
Can we
okay.
get, can we get streets to go ahead and knock it open and then we can start getting quotes?
I wanna help with that.
Sure.
Okay, thank you, Steve, and I did go.
You want me to go ahead and send y'all the quote for the doors to get approved on your, because I don't wanna leave that space.
You want the doors before you open it.
Sure.
So when you open it,
You
you
want
can
me
go
to
ahead and
secure
look
that
at it.
space.
So is there a way we can go ahead and do that tonight as well?
Well, you want me to quote, I can have it to you before the next council.
Okay, so it'll be
But
fine,
it's also
okay.
on YouTube, so you can,
Yeah, well, yeah, so it can just be a purchase order, Alex?
Yes, once we receive the quote, yes.
Okay. Okay.
I think we're all fine with 2,000.
Sure.
We did. And then we didn't even finish talking about what we were talking about, because I went off the deep end, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Okay. All right. Any more questions on any of that, guys?
When will you have the, are they just gonna continue to send you quotes until we find a number we think we're happy with? Pretty
Are you
much?
talking about with pickleball?
Yeah.
We're supposed to meet, I believe it's next Thursday. So I've got their itemized list, and over, between now and then, I'm going to find out how much these items are individually, if we
Yeah.
do them locally
Yeah,
and in-house, and we're gonna see if that's an option for us.
perfect.
Thank you, Steve. Any more questions on that, guys? No? Yes, maybe?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so we're gonna go on to number 3, discussion that is necessary by Councilman Brewer to hire Reams Custom Homes to seal cedar shingles at the Marble City Cemetery totaling $1,247.75, funding from Marble City, Perpetual Care Fund.
That's correct. And all that is just for the 4 petitions that we have there. As you know, we replaced the cedar shingles last year, and now it's time for them to be sealed so they'll last a little longer. So I'm asking that the council approve that to come out of Marble City Perpetual Care Fund so we can get that done.
I thought we talked about it last time. Or maybe
We did, well,
discussed it.
Chad has actually gave us a heads up that we would, he would let us know when it was, since they put it up, they would let us know when it was time to do it. He reached out, so.
Okay. And, I don't have an issue with this. Any, discussion on this, guys? We're good? Alright. So we're gonna go to number 4, discussion that is necessary by Julie Sanders regarding pre-approval of Acme Sandwich Shop Incorporated for 020-restaurant retail liquor license located at 108 North Broadway Avenue, Sylacauga, Alabama, 35150, pending approval from ABC Board and all required documents. Ms. Julie, you have anything, you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, I think we talked about the concept and everything at the last meeting. Any other questions?
Well,
You did a pre-approval with the wharf, so
we did, but I think it was kind of beneficial.
Yeah,
What we
it
did,
is.
because it was kind, it kind of works out in everybody's favor, and they really can't do anything until they get all the required documents and so on and so forth.
but Ron still has to go by and check it out
Yeah,
though.
mhm, yeah. So they still have to do everything.
That's fine, I just had
There's
some.
the last meeting, actually.
Okay, all right, so we're good on this and y'all? All right, number 5, discussion that is necessary by Stephanie Engel, Animal Shelter Manager regarding Patterson Veterinary Credit Application Agreement. Ms. Stephanie?
Yes, so I submitted a credit application to Clerk Lambert, and this was after going through several discussions about a previous vendor that we purchased, some vaccinations through and also euthanasia medicine. Clerk Lambert did not find the terms agreeable with that vendor's, particularly the first vendor's contract, so I found another supply house. It's much simpler language, the terms are 1 page, and I will not probably exceed $1,000 to $1,200 for the whole year for, special medications that we need for the animals, so it's mostly euthanasia and maybe some sedation drugs for the animals that are more challenging.
So is that something that we can do in-house, Ms. Stephanie? Like, do you have to have like some sort of licenses or something to?
Oh, no, we've got the license and everything through DEA. Working with
Okay,
This
Bill
is just
on that.
making sure you can change vendors by getting a credit application with a new vendor.
Correct.
Okay,
I'll take them.
and also too, the next one is yours too as well, Ms. Stephanie. It says, discussion that is necessary by Stephanie Engel, Animal Shelter Manager, to decrease cost of adoptions due to overcrowding.
So when I initially asked to do this, it was specifically for cats, because we have this huge influx of cats, and they were moving. So since making this request, we've adopted quite a few of those out. I would request to drop the adoption fee from $80 to $60 on not more than 10 animals, just so that the staff, we are really burdened right now.
I got a couple of questions. What does that adoption fee money go towards? What does that cover?
It's spay neuter primarily.
Because I was thinking maybe we can just, Lee and I were talking to just a minute ago, maybe we can just waive it all together because of the overcrowding and the overpopulation.
I'd love to waive some of the fees. We've actually had a lot of people step up to sponsor adoption fees, and that's actually helped quite a bit.
And they're,
We just don't want it to take money from you being able to do something else
Right.
if we did it for a short period of time to encourage it.
Maybe do it for like 30 days, maybe?
Pre-end of year
I
adoption.
wouldn't even do 30, I would do 2 weeks maybe.
and then also too, Ms. Stephanie, this is another, I know it's gonna be an unpopular opinion.
Yeah,
I mean, we all know that we have a problem.
oh, yeah.
And it's really bad, and, and I see both sides of it. But we have to figure out a way to try to, take care of the animals and fix the problem in the most humane way possible. Because, I mean, you got some animals that have been in the shelter, like, how long? What's your longest animal?
We've probably got half a dozen that have been there, maybe 18 months, going on 2 years. A couple of those might be moving out beginning of December. There's a transport going to New Jersey. But the problem has been, as you know, just the lack of compliance, people getting their animals fixed, law enforcement being able to actually enforce the laws, because there's no way to prove ownership of the animal. So unless you can prove ownership, people can deny that that animal is theirs if it's causing a nuisance or roaming or whatever, and that's, the mandatory chipping that I hope will happen at some point. I've had loads of calls the last probably 5 days. I had a woman come in today that was just irate because somebody has dropped off a couple of truckloads, literally pick up truckloads of animals on her property. And she has gone to all the shelters and nobody's got space and, you know, so I've had a couple of calls. Like I had a call from a woman in Talladega that had a similar situation happen. So this is, you know, it's really kind of countywide. It's not just specific to the city. So I think we need to think in broader terms of how to handle this, so.
Did you ever get your stuff together to get the chipping mandatory
I've
here
got-
that we
I've got
asked
some
you about in the
information
budget
coming on
session?
that. I've got some information coming on that, the mayor and I are meeting. I actually, and whoever's here from the fire department, there's actually a lady from Germany who's fascinated. She works at King's Ranch. She's adopted a couple animals from us. She volunteers at the local food pantry or food bank and provides some sustenance for the animals and us, you know, on occasion some ice cream or something for the staff when it's 100 degrees or whatever, but, so she's from Germany and they have you know, a nationwide chipping law there. There are no strays. I met a veteran that had been stationed in Japan, also adopted an animal from us. They have a nationwide chipping law there, no problems. I mean, it is amazing. So I would love to, you know, follow up a little further with the folks in the city of Montgomery that passed one about 1.5 years ago. See what we can do. If we have to start it on a smaller scale, fine, and, you know, sort of move it, phase it where it's countywide. Maybe we've got to do something, and obviously the spay neuter thing isn't enough to handle the problem.
When do you think you might do that?
I hope, you know, by spring maybe, start looking into it in a big way. We've got to sit down. I just would like the mayor to meet some of the people I've met. It's pretty fascinating.
I also, like I said, you know, I have an unpopular opinion because, I mean, we have to do something. And then I'm looking at like the animals, they're starving, we're seeing them on the side of the road, like they're running into traffic. I mean, sometimes you even see people be mean to them because they don't want to run the property, they're looking for food. So I asked Tara, you know, to come to try to just give us, you know, a little facts, some facts on some things that are going on. You can come up to the podium and just tell us maybe, I don't know, maybe offer some suggestions or just.
Volunteer with Stephanie at the shelter. And just to give you a little bit of perspective of what's happening from a rescue standpoint, you know, of course, I think there's a lot of misconception. You know, we're kind of creeping into euthanasia territories talking here. And there's a misconception about what a no-kill shelter is. I mean, in reality, no public shelter that I know of can be completely no-kill because we have to take animals from animal control.
Let me interject one thing. So no-kill shelter by definition is you maintain 90% of your population. Okay? So 10%, up to 10% can be euthanized and you're considered no-kill.
See, I didn't even know that.
So for me, that's really aggressive animals, that's animals that are hurt or injured, or animals that are very, very sick. So that's what we sort of focus on if we have to. And, you know, nobody likes to go there, but, you know, we're on the same page. You have to sometimes, there's no way around it.
And we hate to see any happy, healthy dog or cat go down, but like you were saying, we do have too many dogs and cats that are strays and ferals in this area. And Stephanie's got a lot on her hands, and they do a beautiful job taking care of the animals. I mean, I would argue that Stephanie and her staff have done better than I've ever seen the shelter do, finding local adoptions. A lot of the staff right now are coming out to events and coming out to walk dogs on their days off. So they're really passionate about trying to find homes for these dogs. But in the rescue world, feral dogs of Avondale Mill's been around since 2017. And they've moved 10,000 dogs from Sylacauga over that time period to other states. So that shows the magnitude of our problem here. I mean, that's sending dogs up north, sending dogs to Florida. So from 2017 to about 2022, we were sending over half of the dogs from our shelter here to other states. So we have that outlet there. We could get adult dogs, we could get older puppies out of here. And then it hit in 2023, we lost all those rescues. So we lost them mainly because all of the shelters across the country now are full. And a lot of it is because of what happened during the pandemic. People adopted a bunch of dogs and cats. They thought they were never going to leave their houses again, and then they found that they could, and they realized that maybe life's back to normal, I don't want these dogs and cats, so they surrendered them. So these areas we were sending Sylacauga dogs, they weren't able to take them anymore because they were dealing with their own problems there. And when that closed that outlet, now instead of us getting 115 dogs to 150 dogs out of the shelter each month to go to other states, we can get maybe 40 dogs out of here. If we get 40, we're amazed. And it's not dogs to relieve Stephanie. These are puppies. Only puppies can go to our true rescues in Florida. So we can only send tiny dogs. Just puppies that are just a few months old, up to maybe 5 months old. And so that means that doesn't clear out kennel space for Stephanie. We're getting dogs out of here. We're keeping dogs from procreating and creating more more feral dogs, more stray dogs in the area. But that part helps the city, but it doesn't help Stephanie. We are an organization that's here to support Stephanie, to support you guys. Like she's saying, spaying and neutering is so important. We appreciate the city giving us some money to work toward that, because a lot of people are not getting their dogs fixed or their cats fixed because they don't have the money. But we've got money from you guys. We have money from the county commissioners. So that helps tremendously. We need people to understand they've got help, because that is that's the correction to all of this. But at the same time, we've got a shelter full, and if people can't bring their dogs there when they're surrendering them, can't bring their cats there, not everybody, but there will be some people that'll drive down the road and dump a dog out. Like you were talking about, you'll find litters of puppies. We get calls every day at Feral Dogs and Abdog. I'm sure Stephanie gets calls every day with people trying to surrender their animals. But if there's no room, then they don't have any help, anywhere to go. And then that's when we get in a situation where we'll have a pack of dogs that's been wild for a while. All of a sudden you see new dogs with it. People are dropping their dogs off with them. People are calling us on country roads. They're finding litters of puppies, dogs.
These are healthy dogs that you're seeing in the street, so that somebody's been taking care of them.
And some of them are nice initially, but then they get kind of wild. And then once they're in the shelter too long, you can have a happy, healthy dog to start out, and then it's in the shelter too long, it can become kind of kennel crazy. So you can end up, unfortunately, having to make some tough decisions. And Stephanie is at that point where she's got to make some tough decisions with dogs, and we support her with whatever she needs. We never want to see that happen. I know none of you want to see it happen. It doesn't matter if you have pets or not. I've talked to all of you, and I know all of you. None of you want to see happy, healthy dogs or cats euthanized. The shelter doesn't. We don't as rescuers. It's tough on the volunteers to go and every week go and volunteer and get to know these dogs to have some euthanized. And it's worse on the shelter staff. They look those dogs in the eyes every day and help them. But it's the situation that we're in, and unfortunately that's, nobody wants to see it, but that's what's gonna have to happen. We just don't have that outlet to get dogs out
Somehow
here.
too, we have to change sort of the mindset of the people, right? This has got to stop.
So, we support Stephanie with whatever she needs to do, and I know that word euthanasia is a word no one wants to say, but, we're talking about it. We're talking about her getting everything set up where she can do it there, and that's a tough job to have, but it has to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah. And the other thing I'd just like to mention is that December 14th, Feral Dogs is going to offer, their spay neuter. I don't know how many they're doing this run. It's usually around $275. Tickets that they try to sell at a discount fee. So all of you, let your constituents please know, because we need them to go to PetSense
It'll be at
indoor.
PetSense, and we do that every time we do it at PetSense. So we're using part of our funds that we got from the city, and we'll be able to sell those vouchers for $30. And we try to make it as easy as possible for the community. We have community funds that we've raised where we can help people that they can't afford the rabies shots and the transport up to Irondale. So we have ways to help with that thanks to our donations from the city and from the community. So we can try to stop this on the other end. We've sold over 6,000 vouchers in the past, I think 5-6 years. So, but there's still a problem, and so that's,
It's like the animals are showing up.
and it's hard for the rescuers because they've been working so hard, and you would think that after sending 10,000 dogs to other states, after selling over 6,000 vouchers, that we would see everything kind of a downturn in all of the stray and feral animals in the area, and we're just not seeing it. So, that's just where we're in a tough situation with all of it.
I don't know what to say. It's sad.
But we're working toward it. Everyone's working hard. We got great volunteers, great shelter. We appreciate the city having a shelter. We could be a city without a shelter at all. Where would we be? So we appreciate y'all dealing with all this and putting up with and listening to all of us talk about the dogs and cats in the area, because we need the shelter and we appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you guys as well, and Stephanie, I'm pretty sure that, each one of us up here will support you in whatever you need to make sure you guys are taken care of as well as the animals, and I don't know what to say. I'm just really, it's just a sad situation, but we all do know that we do have a problem. We do have to do something.
If we approve the requested decrease, is that gonna be a material difference, or should we waive it or apply it?
I think we should waive it.
I agree with that, I think.
I think we
Time
should-
period though.
Maybe, I think we should waive it
Well,
for,
ask Stephanie, I mean.
well, she only wanted to do, she only wanted to do 2 weeks. I think we should waive it for a little longer because it's gonna take a little time for the information to get out there. Yeah, because you know, some people don't watch it.
You can just advertise it as at this date in the future for the next, these 2 weeks. You know, it doesn't have to be the next 2 weeks, just these 2 weeks.
I think like Lee said, maybe to the end of the year, because the holidays are coming up, somebody may wanna get their
You're
kid
also
a pet
taking
for
money away
Christmas.
from her.
Yeah.
But then we'll just, at this point, actually, I think we're gonna have to make up the difference. So whatever, however many you get to give away for free, maybe, we'll have to figure out and make up the difference, because we don't wanna take away your resources. But we also, we gotta come up with a plan to take care of this.
Yeah,
this
the other
that we
problem,
have.
because we did that, I mean, last year Toyota was so helpful, Toyota, Sylacauga, and the Kane family, they were awesome, but, you know, we were inundated with like this flood of people, and my only concern with that is that we gotta make sure that these animals are going to a really good, responsible pet owner, so we don't have a repeat of all this, and we don't see them a couple months later again.
Can we
Back on the agenda on the 19th with an update after we meet Tuesday.
Question, are we chipping animals at all?
No?
No,
So is there a way we can start chipping them and the ones that we're
Yeah,
gonna
we need
get?
to change the language on the adoption contract.
You see what I'm saying? Because what if we chip the ones we're gonna let people adopt for free and make sure that they don't come back?
I thought you had to get to Montgomery or whoever you was wanting to talk to figure out how to do all this.
Well, it's gotta be phased in, and those chips are running about $50-$60, you know, per animal.
That, and
Has to
there's
be
another reason,
registered.
I think we only need to waive the adoption fee for just a month, and let's just see how it goes. And then if it goes well, then let's do it another month.
Just keep it.
Yeah, I don't know if we do it to the end of the year, and the only reason is because you're taking resources, you're taking funds, and we're gonna need some of those funds to buy some chips with, I'm sure, right, Miss Stephanie?
If we can just get an update
It's
next
only
week.
6 weeks,
Okay.
but you gotta take into account the holiday weeks too, though, you know
Let's
what I'm
just get
saying?
an update the next meeting, after we implement it and see how it goes. We don't have to set a time, we can just do it meeting by meeting. Let's go.
I just don't want to
Need
get,
to make it an incentive, that way people get excited about getting them out faster.
And then we'll put bowls on.
Tiffany's gonna make them up.
Okay.
Alright, thank you, Miss Stephanie, thank you,
Can I
Tara.
ask for clarification?
So we're gonna,
Item number 23 on the agenda.
Yep.
Might as well get right to it.
Waive through the end of the year and then modify to the new rate thereafter.
And I'd like to comment, if I may, Council President, on number 5. The reason,
go ahead.
the reason that the city clerk's office had an issue with the last credit application is they wanted our credit card number and the bank account and routing information, which we're not willing to give up. That's why we asked.
You can't give all that out.
We have read this one, and the only stipulation is it's a purchase order, which is what the city uses anyway. So,
okay, well, that's good. I'm glad we're all on the same page and we can get this, start. I know we can't, it's not gonna happen overnight, but we gotta start somewhere, so thank you guys, and I think we're on the right track. All right, so we're on number 7, right? Discussion that is necessary by Amber Johnson, municipal court clerk, to reimburse overpayment to Gail Vick, case number MC 23-00000856. I may have added an extra 0, totaling $60. And this is this is something we've done before. Just
Yes.
somebody was overpaid and we just need to reimburse them, right?
it's an overpayment on accident from the customer.
Okay, all right, number 8, discussion that is necessary to award the taxi rehabilitation, construction, and engineering phase contract AIP project identification number 3-01-0068-030-2024 totaling $63,335. Grant previously awarded 5% match, project totaling $158,398. Funding from capital improvement fund.
After it was bid out, we actually have the final cost, so which is the $63,335.
Okay,
We didn't have the exact amount until recently.
okay. Y'all got any questions on this? Number 9, discussion that is necessary regarding transportation salary adjustment. And this one is, from Save. And I got a question about this one, Ms. Nancy. I know I talked to Margaret and she was saying that there was some overage from the last budget and there was gonna be an increase to the salaries for the, drivers.
Well, just, the board of directors for SAFE gave a salary adjustment for our drivers.
Okay, so
Yes.
this isn't coming out of the money that, we pay, that we allocate for the transportation program, and if something happens and the money goes away from your side, we're not gonna have to make up for it, right?
No, yeah, you've got the email that has the budget, so we're not requesting any more money. We've adjusted the budget to accommodate the
Okay.
salary adjustments.
Cause I thought she said that there was some money left over, but maybe I misunderstood.
There's no change in their contract.
Yeah, there's no
They're not
change in the
asking for
contract.
additional funding.
But, and
Oh,
I just
no,
had
are
to,
you talking about the workforce ready transport funds, that overage?
yeah, she said that there was some money left over. What she told me, and I could be wrong, and I am on camera, what I heard her say, I'm not gonna say what she told me. What I heard was that there was some money, left over from the previous year, and that's how the, drivers were gonna get a raise. Alex was there with me.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
that's
this is
not-
from this budget.
Okay.
Yeah, this is from this budget, and it just, I'm not sure about that conversation, but
Okay.
I just know that we just revised the budget, and it's under budget from where it was.
Okay, sounds good. 'Cause I know the last time, I know the city had to make up for it. That's why I just wanna make sure the city was, yeah, it was a few years ago, the drivers ended up getting a pay increase and the city had to pay that cost, right, Lee? Yeah.
Well, there had been, and that's after years and years of the city not having to contribute. We had put in, and the CARES money had put in, to cover the cost of everything.
But this
Yeah.
is no cost to the city.
No,
Sounds good.
you got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I'm good.
Thank you,
Ms.
Nancy.
Nancy. Number 10, discussion that is necessary by Alexandria Lambert, City Clerk Treasurer, regarding the 2025 holiday and city council meeting schedule. And I seen the email on this, and I seen a couple of people, had made some comments. So Alex, and I'm gonna say this wrong probably, but on this next year, Christmas is gonna be on a Thursday next year.
That's correct.
So Christmas is gonna be on a Thursday, and we're gonna give the city Friday off, right?
The proposal is to give them the Friday off. Yes.
Yeah, so we'll work Christmas Eve, because I know would there be a half a day? We're gonna work a half a day.
And that's on the mayor.
Okay, so what I'm thinking, I think we should work a half a day Christmas Eve and just give them the Friday off, they get the whole weekend. I don't think we should give them Christmas Eve, Christmas off, and then you come back Friday. To me, that just doesn't make sense. But I'm just me.
I think a half a day is.
What do y'all think?
It's just
That makes
every
sense?
holiday, the 24th, 25th.
Yeah, and that's a Thursday and a Friday.
Pick up with this.
Huh?
What,
That's on
she
you,
doesn't,
Mayor.
yeah. She doesn't, I'm just saying, we've seen the comments, but it doesn't make sense to me, and y'all chime in, it doesn't make sense to be off Wednesday and Thursday, then come back Friday, be off the weekend, then
Well,
come.
that's why we look at this every year, because it differs every year,
Yeah.
so.
But is that
Thursday-
okay, half a day
That
Wednesday?
makes the most sense.
And people,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
yeah, and people got vacation if they wanna take
Yeah,
off.
that was it. So, Alex, you got that wrote down?
Yes,
Y'all
we'll,
good with
we'll
that?
do
Yeah.
is we'll revise it and send it back out, and it's not on the agenda to be voted on this time. That way then we were gonna have discussion.
So, just got an extra half a day.
Yes.
Anything else out of the ordinary?
Not out of the as far as the city council meeting, we did, change one meeting because Sylacauga High School graduates on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, and guys, I asked that, and I think graduation is a big deal in our city, and I don't, we have a lot of people that got kids, grandkids, and family.
We've moved meetings before.
Yeah, but we wanna
We
put
did
it
it
in
last
the,
year.
yeah, but it wasn't scheduled.
Planned.
Yeah,
Right.
it wasn't planned, so y'all good with that?
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
it.
And then, there's been some concern, and I will defer to Cassie. There's been some concern regarding the the calendar year 2024 holiday schedule Christmas. I will.
We just talked about that, didn't
No,
we?
that
talked
was
about
5. So
I'm
this is
talking
one that's
about in 6 weeks.
so this is one that's already scheduled. So what's up with that, Kathy?
So last year, when we were setting up everything as far as holidays, we were going off the assumption that we usually do, which is the 24th, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So that's been in the system that everybody uses with UKG to put in their vacation. So when we brought it up, it was just an oversight that it was put in as the 25th and 26th for this year, for 24. That puts it, I believe 24th and 25th is Wednesday and Thursday, and it says Thursday and, no, excuse me, Tuesday and Wednesday, Wednesday and Thursday is the 25th and 26th is the dates that the council approved. It had been brought up a few times, said that the council would address it, and so everyone has put in their vacation time and et cetera off of the 24th and the 25th being the holidays. So you guys can either.
Just change that and make
Just,
it
I
true.
would say, just change it to the 24th and 25th.
So that's Wednesday, but it's a Wednesday and a Thursday?
Right. No, it's a Tuesday and a
A
Wednesday.
Tuesday and a
So
Wednesday.
they were going under that assumption all year.
You're assuming the
Yeah,
entire day.
we've been making the plans with the 24th and 25th all year.
Well, I don't see a problem, since we're not getting that Friday, I don't see a problem with giving, both days for, Christmas. But the only reason we did it this way is because it's gonna fall to the end of the, week. So I don't see a problem with giving Christmas Eve and Christmas off, because you're gonna come back Thursday and Friday.
Right.
I don't see a problem with that.
So we just need y'all's blessing to change it from the 25th, 26th to 24th, 25th.
Where it should be.
Yeah, I'm good. Y'all good?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, thank you, Cassie. Thank you. All right, discussion,
You
number
want me to
11?
add that on the next agenda to be voted on officially?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. So,
With the 25 as well.
Yes.
all right. Discussion that is necessary by Alexandria Lambert, City Clerk Treasurer, regarding purchase order encompassings from fiscal year 24 to fiscal year 25. What is that?
Okay, so we have encumbrances. An encumbrance is an outstanding purchase order. So for instance, the fire department bought a $259,000 truck. We don't have possession of the truck, so the purchase order is outstanding. We have two options. We either roll all the outstanding purchase orders from 24 to 25 and use 24's money, or we don't roll it and they have to use 25 money.
So then that was, yeah, we talked about this.
Something we haven't been doing.
When is the truck gonna be ready? Because, we were all excited, we were ready to pay for it, we had our money up front and everything. So when is actual payday? for
It
the
should be
truck?
coming pretty soon. The last time that they went up there, the truck, I think y'all got an update on that, that they found a few more things that needed to be taken care of.
But the price
So it
didn't
delayed
change,
it.
right?
No, ma'am, price did not change at all. That was in the total that they repaired everything that needed repaired.
So Alex, what do you, recommend? Do you recommend we roll it? Well, I think we're gonna have to.
If we don't roll it, their budgets are, some of the departments are budgeted are going to be exhausted.
I think we're
But we
gonna.
roll the
yeah.
budget, the money as well.
You're rolling the money
Yeah.
into it.
That is
That's
fine.
fine.
And I did send a list of outstanding purchase orders. If anyone wants to see it, I have it
It's
printed.
more than that.
Oh, that was just my example. In the general fund, we have a total of $749,599.01 outstanding. The capital improvement fund, we have $623,020.55, and then in the airport, we have $87,000.
Okay, so
Would you like to see the list?
how do we keep this from happening next year? So
You can't.
So it just is
Just
what it
timing.
is.
It's gonna happen every year because purchase orders are done, but we don't know how long it's gonna take to receive our goods and services.
Okay.
For instance, the police department, they can order uniforms now, but they ain't
until we
gonna get
receive
them anytime soon.
That makes sense. Well, I'm gonna fuss at Jared, because y'all got us all
Sorry,
excited about
Jared.
that fire truck, and we were ready to pay for it, and then we had our money ready, and we didn't get a fire truck, so I'm gonna fuss at you, Jared.
Okay.
So that's 3 separate line items on the agenda.
Okay. All right, is that it?
Madam President, I'd like to add something to the discussion.
All right, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I just passed this out, so you may remember that we have an approved position in the city clerk's office for an accounting manager. And it came to my attention as we were talking about things over the last few weeks, that there's been great difficulty filling this position. The problem seems to be that there is a degree requirement that none of the applicants, nobody's come in to apply, and people who might be fully qualified for the position who lack the degree can't apply because they lack the degree. So the city clerk has made a suggestion, and I've helped review the job description that's existing, that's out there. And what I just passed out, the things in yellow and then in blue, are both corrections to languages by adding correct department names, but eliminating the absolute requirement for a degree, but setting forth the combination of experience that would be necessary to be in a position. And the feeling is from our consultant and from the city clerk treasurer that we can train qualified people, absent the degree, to be able to do the job. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to find anybody because nobody's been able, we've had no interest in applying for this position based on the qualification that there be a degree. So my suggestion is very simple change, that we submit this edited job description, again, which removes the requirement but adds similar requirements absent a degree to the Civil Service Board for approval, so we can then repost and be able to fill this position and fill a desperately needed position in the city clerk's office.
And this job, how long has this job been vacant?
It's been up vacant 17 months, and I would like to correct just one thing, Mr. Harrington. We're not going without the degree completed.
Completely right.
Right. We just want to make sure that the bachelor's degree is removed, but we want to keep an associate degree.
Correct. It's the bachelor's degree, sorry.
Right.
But by removing that, you're upping the ante, so to speak, on the experience and other requirements.
Yes, and the assumption is that with the associate's degree and some of the additional requirements that are included, we can be able to be just as well off, better than not having somebody in the position.
And we've also had trouble, like Lee said, with them, anyone passing a test also.
Correct. We've had 10 people take the test and 10 people fail. The only one that actually passed was the consultant. And
She can't because of her retirement.
right,
I got
she
it.
can't take the job.
And I see government and accounting operations.
And the
I don't-
yellow is the added stuff.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with submitting it to the Civil Service Board.
And also too, by doing this, the only person that passed the test would be helping train this person.
That's what we're asking the council, because right now, we have no, that's the problem we've had in the past with the audits. So we're asking for her to stay on until they're trained a little bit.
Adding this tonight
I would
to
like-
send to the Civil Service Board?
I would like to add this tonight because we don't know when the Civil Service Board will meet due to holidays, so we want to get it in so we're not waiting another 3 months past Christmas.
And if we find some stuff we're concerned with, we can always email and call, and
Correct.
that gives us time also.
And they'll let us know their thoughts as well. I don't have a problem with
Sure,
it. I think it's a
I'm good, because
idea.
from what I'm seeing highlighted in blue and yellow, it's,
And it gets us some
It looks
really needed help in the city clerk's office.
and she's gotta have some help.
Right. And then the second thing, which I'm not suggesting on the agenda tonight, I've also included in what I just gave you. The original job description for the human resource specialist, which was from 2008. Remember back in the old days, before any of us existed, the human resource specialist was in the city clerk's office. It was part of the city clerk treasurer. We know that the existing structure is not working. We need additional help for the human resource specialist. We've not been able to fund or be able to consider funding the multiple positions that would be necessary to create a separate human resources department. But human resources cannot function as it is without help. It has to have help. There's no way that a single person can do everything that's being placed on the human resource specialist. So my suggestion is that we revert and reinstate the reporting relationship so that the human resource specialist is again part of the city clerk's office, so that all of those positions can be leveraged to make sure that the human resource specialist has help. So it is restoring the reporting process that was in through 2010 and putting it back such that there is enough help to make sure that the job gets done without having to create a department and adding 2 or 3 or 4 more people in a new department world, which is an inefficient way of spending. So this, just for reference, is the 2008 job description that was used prior to human resource being a separate person rather than it being embedded. I'd like to suggest that we craft a version of this that is similar, matching the new requirements. And there are a lot of things that are in this job description and that are no longer relevant. They're responsibilities that have been taken over the years by other people. So we need to simplify this. But I think this is the only way that we can afford, and we must find a way to afford getting the city, the human resource specialists, the help they need to be able to get the job done.
And some of these, jobs that you said that have been taken over, they're already in the city
They're
clerk's
already in,
department.
and the functions,
it's-
the
yeah.
functions are already in the city clerk's office, as in payroll and other things. It's a much more natural relationship than trying to start sucking pieces out and creating a new different feed.
I agree with you. I think this is a good idea, and it'll help relieve all the stress that our human resource, specialist has been under. And, I mean, we gotta figure out a way, to help her, and I think this is the best way.
So I'm going to work on reformatting the job description, and we'll look at that later soon. Meanwhile, filling the accounting manager's position is key, so we'll put on the agenda as an add item for tonight, sending this job description, if we need to, and I think we do. We need to approve sending it to Civil Service Board for approval, so we can then, again, seek approval to repost.
Do you guys agree with, sending this over to the service board?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. And Lee, thank you so much for working, with, Alex on this, because this was a lot. We've been trying to figure out a way and trying to come up with some solutions, and thankful.
I have some, the human resource specialist being under city clerk treasurer, I just feel like it needs to be separated because they work, for the employees, and I feel like getting somebody else involved over them is going to cause issues.
Well, we can discuss this one. This one, it's just an idea.
We just have to get
Yeah.
clearance from the
Yeah.
Civil Service Board even to start.
Yeah, to make sure, because they'll have to say their blessing over this as well. But I do agree, are you guys in agreement to send this over, to amend the agenda? I know we got,
Yes.
got 1 minute. So can we get, where's the code? Can we get an add item for this, Nicole, for the, this accounting manager, job description, so we can add it tonight, but, because we're gonna have to start this meeting, because we have the public hearing. All right, okay. And then too, so I think we should send this over to the, do we need to send this over so they can just tell us that?
Yeah, we'll send it over for approval.
Okay.
And again, I'll be back in touch within the next couple of weeks on the other.
All right, so it is 5:59. Anybody has anything else? You probably got a few things. We're good, work session good, anything that, you don't really have time?
I'm good. I just need some time in the meeting to, give some applause.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In my notes, I had a few phone calls.